welcome to my cabin. So the goal for today is I want to quiet the furnace in my bedroom. After that, I've got a DC charger. I'm trying to figure out how to charge my laptop without converting DC power to AC power back to AC. I think we finally got that figured out. And then the last thing I want to do is insulate my Frieze blocks above my walls and below my ceiling. So let's get started. So you are looking at my built-in bed, and obviously this loud noise is my furnace. It's very loud. I bought some hush ductwork that I want to put in, and when I designed this bed, I made this panel here with half a bottom so I could pull it out and work on this if I have to. And it appears that I errantly drove one screw from the bottom into this that's preventing me from taking it out. So I'm having to lift up the whole bed, unscrew that screw, and then I can access this furnace and install this quiet duct, and we'll see if it makes a difference. Yeah. This is how this is supposed to work when you needed to do maintenance on it. That's a little bit easier now. And it just rests on this. And then this thing, probably not even needed. That's slide that out. Okay, so this thing, I love it. Other than its noise, it's fantastic. And the reason I like it is that it's about 90% efficient. Whereas if you were to get a vented or a non-vented, it would be probably 60% efficient. Now that comes with a trade-off. It takes DC power, but I'd rather have the propane efficiency, because with solar I can make more power, but I can't make more propane. So I really like this thing. This is the HS2800 Propex. It's really good, but it's kind of pricey. I think right now it's around $1,000 to buy it. It was a little bit less when I bought it 2 or 3 years ago, but I definitely recommend it, other than the noise. If the noise will drive you crazy, then don't get it. We're gonna see if we can do something about that. Straight off, I don't think this thing's gonna fit. When I ordered it, it looked small, and I went and checked, and sure enough, I ordered the right one, but it just doesn't look like it's gonna fit. So let's see. And there's just no way. It's not even close. Alright, so interestingly enough, I do think I actually quieted it down some. I'll have to listen to the audio levels after to really know for sure, but it seems more quiet. All I did was put some bends in the ducting, and that seemed to, you know, the sound must be bouncing around a bit and not quite just coming straight out. So it's an improvement, and hopefully I can order the right size. So I was looking at it, and I think they had some kind of metadata in their search function that brought up that size ducting even for my bigger unit, because once I went to the Propex site, this is 60 millimeters. My unit says 76 millimeters. So I definitely have the wrong size. It's very bright. Alright, so this is definitely more quiet, but I think we can do even better. One ongoing saga on this channel has been getting this USB-C charger to charge my MacBook. And I've mentioned that I have inconsistency with it doing it right. It'll charge during float, but it won't charge during bulk. And what I've realized is that it's a voltage issue. So I searched the internet far and wide for a long time, wasn't able to find the voltage that my MacBook Pro runs on, and then I had the genius idea of looking on the power supply, and it says that it is 4.7 amps at 20.5 volts, which I can supply with this voltage regulator. This can take up to 5 amps. We might be pushing this thing a little bit hard, but you know what, if it burns out, I think it was like $14. So if it burns out, we'll get a bigger one or something like that. So let's get this thing wired in and see if it works. Okay, let's just give you a quick overlook on these. So it comes with a base plate. These little things screw in, and there's two types of these. These ones have a screw attached. So the way this goes on top of this, and then this goes on top of this, and then these screw through into it, and then this plate goes on top like that. So you've got input on this side, output on this side. One of these adjusts, okay, this adjusts voltage, this adjusts amps, and then there's one more thing that you've got to do. This, underneath this heatsink is the main processor. You have to stick this little heatsink on. And it can also charge straight to a USB, which I'm not going to use. So input, output. Alright, so I've got this mounted here, and I can't remember which one controls volts and amps, but we're just going to turn this. That must be amps because nothing's plugged in. Alright, so that's volts. So we're going to go up to 20.5. Alright. Oh, we need one more. There we go. Okay, and then we'll wire it the rest of the way, put a load on it, and then we'll adjust the amps. All right, let's test this thing out. I wired this to a switch too, so I can turn off this. Plug that in. So 20.6 volts, about 2 amps. Shows batteries charging. Power adapter 93% using iMovie, using energy. So I assume as I open more stuff it'll draw more power. Keynote, let's see what that's doing. And we'll do my photo editor. That's probably use a lot of power. Now let's see what this thing's drawing. Oh, it's still drawing 2 amps. So that's like 40 watts. But that must be all it's needing. I've seen it as low as 1.4. Haven't really seen it any higher than that. Alright, well that's not bad. We solved 2 problems today. The fan is definitely more quiet. When it kicked on at night, it didn't even wake me up. Usually it wakes me up. And now being able to charge that without worrying about killing my computer is kind of nice too. So this video is going to be 2 trips. Today's my birthday. I got to get home, and I was hanging out with my friend most of the time. So so this timeline will probably be a little bit weird, but I definitely don't have enough for a whole video, so I'll be back and we'll film again. Alright, I'm back here. It's a different trip. Before we get started, last week I put out a video that I think was pretty good, but for whatever reason it didn't get a lot of thumbnail exposures on YouTube. But if you haven't seen it, check it out. Sarah and I go down to the cabin, we finish insulating the crawl space, and I install a couple different temperature thermometers that takes the temperature from different places of the cabin. Anyway, I thought it was pretty cool. I thought the video was good. It kind of had some new levels of cinematography to it that I've never been able to do before. So if you want, check that out, and let's get started. I just got here. Let's do a temperature check. I got the fire going. So this is the loft. This is the room where we're standing right now, kitchen area. And then we've got the crawl space is 32.8. What's kind of interesting, granted, I've never come here when it's super cold out. I've never come here when it's below, like right now it's about 20 degrees. That's about the coldest. But I have never seen that crawl space below freezing. I'd like to get out here when it's like, you know, 0 Fahrenheit or something and see what it does. But so far, that has stayed above freezing. So that's a good sign. I'll continue to follow up on that so you can see how the insulation is working. But so far, I'm pleased. I don't even have the fan on right now. Okay, so the next thing I want to work on is the Frieze blocks. So my ceiling has R40 and my walls have R19, but where the wall meets the ceiling, those are called the Frieze block air. I don't know the official term, but anyway, there's no insulation there. It's just plywood. So I want to get some rigid foam in there, and then I can trim it out after and make it look nice. So let's get started on that. .39.5 inches. Alrighty, so we got all that cut. That's what's left. I got a tip from someone to get a electric oscillating serrated knife to cut that stuff. I haven't remembered to buy one yet, but I guess if you're gonna do this, someone told me that works well. I can't say for sure if it does, but I don't see why they'd say that if it didn't. So anyway, I've got all these cut. I've got them laid out above their respective bays, and I've even cut the ones in the utility room and for this side. So we'll put up one together, and then I'll check back in after they're all finished. I'm just gonna put a thin bead of foam around the edge, and then I'll press this into it, and then I'll foam around the outside again. Alright, and then now that that's sealed in, we may have to come around after it dries out and just kind of cut off the excess before I put the wood on it. I'll probably put an air gap between the wood and it too, so that'll help insulate. Alright, I just got done with all the insulating. Let's check out what I did starting in the loft, because that's where I'm right now. So we got this these bays over here, going all the way over that top plate. And then we did those two over there, and then I'll go down the ladder and get back with you in a second. Okay, heading into the utility room. So we got this little guy here and all the way across, and then I'm going to do this little triangle up here. These two bays I'm keeping empty for the time being because I'm going to have to run some more wire, and then behind all the solar stuff is already insulated, so that's good. And then right in the corner there, I'll probably have to spray that little tiny bay where the two walls meet after everything's totally done. So right now, I want to do that little triangle, and then right here is another bay where walls intersect, and this is kind of an outside wall. So we're going to do that with rigid foam, because I don't like the way when you stuff the when you stuff the bats in there. I just don't think it does a good job, so I'm going to do it with rigid foam and then seal it. So we'll do that, and then we'll check back in. All right, this is the last piece of insulation I want to do for the day. Hopefully I can get it to fit. Oh, I cut it a little tight. Not too bad. Alright, so that's basically the last piece of insulation I want to do today. Alright, so it's about halfway through the video, or a little more than that. This message is geared towards the people who have been watching my channel for a while, the people that even if I don't pick a super catchy thumbnail or title, you still click my videos because you know they're going to be good videos. I could use your help with something. I've become pretty frustrated with YouTube's algorithm. They've basically decided that my channel is not worthy of growing to a larger audience. They show my thumbnails to the same people, and I'm just not getting the exposure that I think the quality of the videos warrants. And so I really need your help. I think there's more people out there like you, people who would be interested in this type of content, people who appreciate the fact that I never do clickbait, I never do extraordinarily misleading titles. You know, like one is like, we're leaving our homestead, and then you find out they're not really leaving, or you won't believe what happened, and then what actually happened is not interesting at all. I refuse to do that, but the fact that I'm not doing it is hurting me with the algorithm. But I think that there's people like you who will want to watch my videos, who are into this kind of stuff. I would really appreciate it if even like 15,000 of you suggested my videos to one person who you know would like them. That might put me well on the way to getting 100,000 subscribers, which is a big goal of mine. So if you like my content, if you know people you think would like it, I would so much appreciate it if you would share it with even one person. Nothing goes further than a personal recommendation to someone who you know is into this kind of thing. So if you're willing to do that for me, thank you so much. All right. So I just stumbled upon another cool feature of this battery charger I put in. One of the complaints about my camera is it's super expensive to buy the USB-C adapter to be able to charge the camera by USB-C. It's like Canon charges like $200 for it. Well, now with this DROC voltage converter, I can charge it without buying that thing, and it's kind of a pain to take my batteries out, put them in the wall, turn the inverter on and charge them. Now I can charge them straight from this thing in the camera, which is super cool. I just have to adjust the voltage, which I would, if you are going to be in a van or off-grid, I mean, I would definitely get one of these things. It is already turning out to be so handy. Yeah, so literally all I did was turn down the voltage. That little indicator light on the left is blue. It even changes color if it's not charging, so it's like so easy to use. Yeah, I don't know, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it is so cool that that little $14 device can charge basically anything now for me off-grid. I mean, that's like, if you're designing a system and you don't have to design an inverter into it to do that stuff, I mean, that's gonna save you some big bucks, not to mention all the conversion loss and everything. I mean, that is just cool. So I don't know, I hope someone can get use out of it. If you're building out a van or a cabin or something, that is a cool little device to have. I think the one that I got really can only go down in voltage. I know there are ones that can go up and down, so if you're shopping for one, depending if you're 12 volt, you might want one that can also go up in voltage. For me, being 24 volt, you know, at times I'm up as high as 30 volts. I really only need to go down in voltage, so that's one thing to consider. But hopefully some of you can get use out of that. So cool. Alright, so I've got to change my propane tank out. The big one is full, the 30-pounder is empty. It seems like I go through one 30-pounder a winter, but I've been using this place a lot more this year, so I'm thinking that might be increasing. Alright, so this, I don't know, this is my propane setup. Little homemade manifold, regulator, individual shutoffs. I don't have automatic changeover, but I can turn these over manually. And one of my projects that I want to do, but I'll probably never get to, is pour a little pad here and make a little house for this propane area. But honestly, that's just one of those things. I got to be realistic. I probably won't get to that for a long time. So anyway, get this in the truck. Let's do another temperature check. So that looks like it's about 27 degrees outside, maybe 26. All right, and then this is a new day here. So it's like maybe 2 o'clock. I got here around 8:30. So that's the loft is 65. The room that I'm in, 56. and the crawl space 34 without the fan running. So that's a good sign. You know, again, I just got here. This video is 2 different trips. So I just got here at like 8:30, started a fire by 9, so it's 2 o'clock. So that's how much the temperature's risen. And I'm not really cranking the wood in the fire because I'm going to be leaving. So, you know, it's burning, but I'm trying to let it burn down. Yeah, the last time I stayed over though, it was a longer trip, and I got it up to about 72 down in the main room, and the loft was like 82. So that could be a fun project, trying to duct air or even just putting a fan in, but it'd be more fun to duct it. I like to make things more complicated than they have to be. Duct it from the top of the ceiling and down and come out like down, maybe down there or something. I don't know, we'll see. Another one I'll never do. I made my typical mess while I work, so let's just get this cleaned up and then I can head out of here. Alright, well that was nice to get those 3 things kind of taken care of. I need a source for 76mm ducting, acoustic, like not smooth, but something with some fabric in it. I'm sure I can find something. I haven't found anything yet. I bet if I say it, someone will have a good suggestion in the comments, and then I'll finish off that quieting that furnace. But it was nice to get that kind of quiet temporary setup, and then getting the charger set up was nice. That's really going to help me, and then that insulation's been bothering me. Those little things, like, they don't make the greatest, most exciting videos. I have no idea how I'm going to put a title or a thumbnail to this video, but they're just stuff that holds you back, and you got to get it done. Next video is going to be the rest of the cabinet faces and the rest of these drawers. So I'm pretty excited for that one, so definitely stay tuned for that. I'm not done with them yet, but if I say it out loud, I will have to get it done. So, all right, well, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.